All right, what's up, guys? We got Christian here. So Christian is in sales, obviously. Why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, like, how long you've been closing for, all that type of stuff.
All right. So I'm Christian. Thank you for the introduction, John. So I've been a closer since like March 25th, officially a closer. So I've been closing for like a month and a half now. I joined John's program like as a setter back in February. So and then I've just been ever since I've just been learning how to close and got my first like opportunity like a real shot like at March 25th, and then in 4 weeks from there I made from a 2K month setter I made like 11K in like 4 weeks.
Insane, bro, insane. So what kind of offer do you sell now?
Right now I sell a trading offer.
Okay, cool. So trading, like you're coaching people how to get better, or is it like trading algorithm? Just for
No,
more context.
trading, just coaching people how to get better at trading.
Okay, so let's take it back to when you first joined. What were, because I know you're initially setting, but what were your initial complications with closing? Like, what were you not as confident in? Everything like that before you hopped in.
Um, I would say like definitely like the pre-handle. Like usually like during like that part of like I guess you could say discovery where you can find like limiting beliefs. Like I knew how to like find it, but I just didn't know how to actually like really get deep into like the deep root of the problem, like why people operate the way they are. So once I was able to like do that, like I was able to, like actually get people across the line when it comes to like taking their money at the end. Because
Yeah.
like you already talked about it in the beginning, and then when you're trying to objection handle them, you can just revert back to that piece, a part of the conversation earlier, and then that usually gets people across the line like more.
Yeah. How would you compare your conversations before learning the pre-handling and before learning like the reframing, limiting beliefs, and identity labels and all that type of stuff? Before you learn that, what did the difference make in your calls?
Um, like people would actually they would respect me more because they would just be like, "Oh shit, like we're actually getting deep into this." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why we're on the call, bro." So I guess like actually like getting people like to open up to me, that was like kind of like that win. It kind of made me confident, like, hey, like I can actually have these like tough conversations with people, and it'd be normal for me to ask them because before
Yeah.
like when I would ask these questions, I'd just be like, shit, like this is like for in my head, like it was just like a weird question to ask. I don't know why. But like, the more I did it, I was just like, oh, like these are the questions I need to ask in order to get these people across the line. So
Yeah. And the reason it works so well is because no other salesperson can ask them. Like, because no one, it takes a high level of skill to be able to go into these things, which is why when you sell this way, you're naturally going to get way higher close rates. You're naturally going to outperform everyone else. Like, you went from 2K to 11K, and like, that's that's a 4x in your income. You know what I mean? In like 3 months or something, which is ridiculous. Most closers in the high ticket space never even get to the point where they're making 10 grand a month. They usually just quit before that happens. And this is just literally the beginning for you since you just started closing like very recently.
yeah.
So for you, because I know with Christian, all of them were just like keep on getting referred in, which is it says good things about like what we do, obviously. But what made you finally want to decide to invest into the program?
Um I'm gonna shout out Sam. Sam was the guy who actually got me in here. So I remember when Sam joined the program, he was like, yo, Christian, like you gotta join." And I was like, why?" He was like, "Dude, just join. Like this whole new process, it's sick." And then I was like, and I watched a couple of your videos. I was like, "Oh shit, this is actually
Yeah.
like this guy gets deep into the questions." And then I had that limiting belief. I was like, "Hey, I can just continue with what I'm doing right now. Just stick with my current program." And then the thing is, what mattered to me was actually getting good at the thing, so I can obviously one make more money, but two like it's just like in my I guess like blood or to just like really get good at something and just really like I'm like really competitive because before I used to play a lot of video games as a kid, and I was just like, hey, like why not translate that obsessiveness into this and like just get better
Yeah,
at skill
absolutely.
set.
And for the context there, Sam is another 20K a month guy that came from being a setter, and in his first month closing, he made 20K. So there's an interview with him on the channel as well. But literally all of them, and then their other friend Paul went from
Yeah.
3K to 25K a month. So this has all happened in the past like 3 months. So they're 3 for 3 on all their referrals coming in. And then I think Noah as well hit 10K a month too. So that's all sick, bro. So what were your initial concerns when you hopped in?
My initial concerns were, it was just like honestly just learning like a whole new process. Obviously, when you learn something new, it's a little bit weird, it's a little bit uncomfortable. But I just knew like, hey, like that's just normal. When it comes to learning a skill set, like you're just gonna, it's gonna be rocky at first. But like as long as you stay consistent, show up to the coaching calls, like you'll improve drastically.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. What was your significant breakthrough that you feel like had the most important impact?
Um, I would say like for me, like one was like actually just understanding like why people operate the way they are. It's like if you can fully understand like someone's like belief, like let's say like someone has fear and like you ask them like, hey, what's like really behind that? And they tie that experience to like something that happened in early in their childhood. Like
Hmm.
it just allows you to like just understand them more like on a more personal level. And then you'll be able to like walk them through like, hey, like I understand like, this certain event happened in the past, but like if we keep holding on to that way of thinking, like you're just not gonna get to where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that type of stuff is the most powerful thing because like I always tell you all this and where I credit a lot of it to like the Tony Robbins stuff, what he talks about, taking limiting beliefs, finding the experiences that shape those and then reframing those, and then at that point the objection has no foundation to stand on. So then when you do have to handle objections, it's like one loop or something. Nothing crazy. Like it's not the most insane stuff in the world. But in terms of concrete numbers, obviously you went from like 2K to 11K, which is amazing. What about, I know you didn't have a closing rate before because you were setting, but what do your numbers look like at the moment?
Oh, at the moment, like marketing is very slow at the moment, so like there's not a lot of call volume.
Hmm.
But I guess like when in the entire month of me closing, I think my close rate was around like 40 to 50%.
Let's go. That's awesome, bro. What did it take you a while to start seeing results after you joined? Or what was that learning period like?
Um, I would say like the well, in terms of the results, because like I never really got on a closing roll until like a month
Mm,
after I joined. So in that time period between February and March 25, like I was just like literally studying and studying. And obviously I was making money as a setter as well. But like when I actually like got a shot to, actually close, like that was like when everything like started like just, flooding in. I was like, oh shit, okay, like this actually works. I
yeah.
As long as I stay consistent, like I can actually like hit those big numbers like I've been wanting to. So
Yeah. How would you compare the investment you made to the return you've gotten?
um I would say like it's a good investment, like at the end of the
Mhm.
day, like I think I invested into I don't know how much it was, but like but I'm pretty sure like 2 times and 3 times that. So it's a good investment. So yeah, it's just a good investment, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it, bro. So because obviously there's a lot of people that are probably watching this and they have a lot of whether it's fear or they have uncertainty going through their mind. As you know, like we know how to objection handle at this point.
Yeah.
What do you say to those people who have that uncertainty in their mind and they're like on the fence? Maybe they think they could do it on their own. Maybe they already invested in other programs and they're just like, eh, because you were in that situation. Like you've invested in other programs too that are
Yeah.
solid, but like what made you get over that hump?
Um, that's my favorite objection, fear. I always I tell myself this every day, but to the people who who are on the fence, like what's really more risky? Like you staying where you're at because like of that fear and those uncertainties, or you overcoming that hurdle, actually overcoming that, pushing through no matter what. Because that fear is always going to be there. It's not going to go away. It'd be nice if it did go away, but that's
Mhm.
just like how life works. You just have to make the conscious decision every day to just like push through that fear no matter what. Because if you don't, like, where does that leave you, right? So
Yeah, yeah, bro's pulling out objection handles on y'all. But dude, you're telling the truth. Everything in life is about choices. There's a reason why some people can get into a closing role like you and go from zero closing to 11K a month. Same with Sam, same with Paul, same with basically everyone. There's a reason why people can get in and in such a short amount of time see success. And then there's going to be people who are like bragging about their experience level in sales rather than their income. I love when people pull that up. It's like, oh, I've been closing for 10 years. How much money do you make? It's like, it's way more important to talk about that than the amount of closing. experience
Exactly.
you have. But dude, that's sick. You want to shout out your socials and everything like that? Where can people find you?
Yeah, so I started like my YouTube channel on YouTube. It's Christian Slings, and my Instagram is at Christian Ramos, but the A in the Ramos is a 9. So you guys can follow me there. I'm starting to post content like every other few days on my YouTube. So, and then I'm just documenting my journey from there.
Let's go. Good stuff, bro. Well, thank you for coming on, and I'll see you on the coaching calls.